and
I
we're
agree.
creating it, so once we grasp that, we're going to change it.
Well, hello, everybody. We are letting you in on our chat room.
Yeah.
And so welcome, because, we already had the show going. We just thought we'd be, there's I'm going in the background, Trina. We just thought we'd include all of y'all into the conversation. So how are you doing? And welcome. Let me just, speaking for Trina as well, we just invoke favor upon your house, upon your name, upon your essence. May favor walk with you constantly, and may it be a faithful companion. Nothing missing, nothing broken. So hello, Miss Trina. How are you, dear?
I am so good. And how are you, Wayne?
I am fabulous. I have had just a fantastic morning. Let me show you something, what I have been doing, Miss Trina. Actually, I sent you a picture of this, but so that's what I baked today. That is
Oh,
a chocolate chip, walnut, banana, nut bread. And there it is.
oh
It's,
man, that looks like heaven.
actually it is.
I bet it is. Oh my goodness.
I just, so you asked what I've been doing. I got up this morning. I told Lynn, I said, you know what? I said, this is like a banana nut bread. And she says, let me guess. It's going to have chocolate in it. I said, yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, that's what I've been doing, dear. So what have you
That
been
is
up
so
to?
awesome. I was actually outside too, enjoying the sun and watering plants and,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, yeah, just doing that, kind of just hanging out with the flowers and the food
It got down to
and the
34
puppies.
degrees here,
It
34
was
degrees.
98 yesterday.
Ouch.
Yeah, 98.
No, 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 no,
I'm
no, no,
telling you.
no.
Woohoo.
Well, happy Cinco de Mayo and
Yes.
everyone that's having a birthday today.
Yes.
If going from Adam all the way down, happy birthday to you. And we just wish you well. And,
Mm-hmm.
you've got an anniversary.
Cousin born today.
What's that?
I have a cousin, her birthday
Oh,
is
is
today.
that right?
Yeah, she's
Excellent,
born on
excellent,
Cinco de Mayo.
excellent.
Yeah.
Cinco
Yep.
de Mayo.
Yep.
By the way, I heard from Gava from about Viker, and this group, he is just we made an impression, folks. That's all I can say. This group is what a there's a lot of YouTube channels out there. We get that. But what really counts is, I think, the quality, not the quantity.
Yeah.
We've got some quality individuals here.
Brian and I were discussing the exact same words last night.
Get out of my head, man.
I mean, word for word, Wayne. Brian and I were like, it's the quality of this group. It's not quantity, it's quality. Same words, identically.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, the synchronicities. It's crazy. Yeah.
You're entering a dimension of,
Yes.
yeah, it's like,
Yes.
man,
It's
Rod, I've
so
been here,
funny.
man.
Yeah, like you with the inner child and looking at your picture. My mom literally sends this home to me. She gave
Look,
me this. I
put
have
that up
never
there
had
so
this in my
everybody can
possession.
see. Trina,
Huh?
let's see. How old were you then?
I was just turned 11 years old.
Wow.
Yep, and that's my mama.
Look at the look. Now put that back up there, because the look in you, and that's who you are.
Yep.
You already had that look, like,
Like I do a secret.
well, yeah, yeah. It's like, I know why I'm here. Do you know why you are here?
Yes, I was really having a lot of problems at that time of my life because my reality was going crazy. I'm like, I told you, there's no such thing as this and the Easter, all this stuff. And here I'm seeing UFOs, I'm seeing ghosts. I saw my friend's grandmother get taken over by an Indian spirit. She started swearing and drinking whiskey. I'm seeing all this stuff. The Lord's my spirit guide. I can communicate. I'm seeing stuff nobody else can see. It was a crazy time of my life. And that's why I had that grin. It was like, this is just crazy.
Well, physiologically, our bodies, when we're going through this metamorphosis, we are born as infants, we become toddlers, we then grow to become children, and then we become adolescents.
Yeah.
And adolescence in medical science, check this out, folks, it's really not human.
Yeah.
We all go through it. I don't know. Is that the initiation process? I
I
mean,
think it is. And I think it's about alchemy.
so think about this.
Yep.
How many people went through adolescence never being aware of what was taking place, and they go through the rest of their lives never realizing?
It's really funny because like teenagers, that's when you're finding out who you are,
Sure, yeah.
who you're going to become. Literally, I think you're literally manifesting the alchemical processes to determine where you're going in your future based upon your thoughts, actions, and desires.
Wow. Yeah, we have to get a psychologist on here because, one of the things that, so for me at the age of 11 was a very traumatic time for me. Um, you know, the environment that I was in was very abusive, dealing with broken bones and
Mhm.
things like that. But it's amazing how that time, as I look back,
Mhm.
I was using the time more for seeing myself from a spatial distance as like, well, dude, this is the experience.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
were
I mean, it's a little different.
safely distancing yourself from the trauma so you could cope with it. That's amazing. That's a brilliant mind. Brilliant mind.
Yeah, well, apparently there were some people back then didn't like it.
Of course,
But
because that's master level stuff right there, Wayne. You were doing it when you were a kid. That's amazing. Seriously.
It's so weird, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
seriously.
It's like
What happened with
the
Brian?
fractaling of our mind can actually
Oh,
protect us and it can actually destroy you. It's totally up to how you believe.
yeah.
And literally for you, it was a saving grace.
Well,
Huh?
it's interesting because I see it now on the journey that I have been. Wow, what a trip, Trina. What a
Yes.
trip. What
Isn't it
happened with Brian
amazing?
last night?
We don't know, but he appealed it and they posted it back up because I think it was a glitch. I really don't know.
That
I
may have
really
been
don't
like,
know. Yeah, so
you
they
know,
put both of them back up, but yeah, we don't know because I mean, literally, we were like seconds in and it was zap.
all I gotta say is Milky Way messengers, you're injecting a frequency, my friend, into the matrix.
Yeah, and I didn't know. Yeah, it's like the higher minds. I don't know. I don't know. I was like, don't know, but it was
What
very.
what what was it in there? Neo, when he first says that, it says, the matrix the matrix has you. In other words, it's now focusing in on you.
Yes.
I think
Lock
most of
it,
the people
locked on.
here, Trina, including yourself,
Yeah.
we've all been, the matrix has focused in on us.
Since I was a kid.
Yeah, we're agents, but of a different kind.
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Remember, I
Yeah.
told you Wayne Rebel Cell. He always told me, you're
Oh
the rebel
yeah,
cell, you're
yeah,
the antivirus. He says,
yeah.
don't forget what you're here to do. You're here to change everything. And then I was literally born on the 16th. When in the tarot, that's the tower.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm Aries, initiator, bring forth change, break stuff down so you can rebuild it. It's like, yeah, I was like, he was like, get ready. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
we came here to change the world for real.
yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like they're having a different conversation in the chat room. It's like, I mean, what's going on over there? Um,
Yeah.
so next Wednesday, I want to let people know I'm having David from Adapt 2030 will be on.
Right on.
Yeah, so we're going to be
Right on.
talking about some of the changes that, I'm telling you, Trina, I try to, and I am positive because what we're going to be talking today is seeds
Mhm.
and how each day we are a seed sowing species. That's
Yes, we are.
say that 10 times real quick. Let's see how
Yeah, no
yeah.
way.
No way. Um, but it's very curious to see what things are becoming.
Mhm.
I tell you folks, start growing your own food.
Absolutely.
Seriously.
We're gonna have to be responsible, very much
Yeah.
so. We're because things around us that we've always counted on might be temporarily disrupted. So everybody needs to kind of know that this is a real potential.
And this is a real exercise. I'll just say this is
Yeah.
this is not um I was busy because I had been involved in an earlier conversation about some things coming down the pike for our economy.
Mm-hmm.
And folks, I'm just telling you now,
Get ready.
plant yourself a garden.
You're gonna need it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
for reals. Yeah. hmm
it's
We're having
and
we're having issues in the chain, the supply
big
chain.
big issues. Yeah, and David will bring a lot of this. It's all over the world, Trina. It,
I know. I knew it would be.
yeah.
It's the weather. The weather's been off the hook. So we're having. Yeah. This is. You
And
know.
get this. So you've got the world now that whatever this thing you want to call it's altered our reality. It's altered our physical reality. Let me show you something else. So I had to go Saturday um, to Home Depot, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And so I get there. This is like they opened up at 6. So let me show you what the new normal. By the way, that is a term that they are using for. So here we go. I'm driving the bus, folks. Just give me a time. I gotta make sure that the turn signal's on. Um, so this is literally 5:50 in the morning. You look at the reality of this. Now, this is Home Depot. They have the X's out every 6 feet. And that line literally stretched for over nearly a quarter of a mile.
Wow.
Folks, this is some weird stuff that is seriously going on. You don't need that. And I started filming, and so you can see that the carts went the whole length of the the front of Home Depot. It's Trina, I this is what I am when I see this, it bothers me because we're wearing masks now.
I know.
You take away, and think about this. A year ago, if you'd gone into a bank
Mhm.
wearing a mask,
Oh, I know. They would not let you in.
well, you'd have guns pointed at you.
Absolutely. They'd be like, get out of this facility, unmask your face.
Now,
Yeah,
if you don't have a
absolutely.
mask, you're going to have a gun pointed at you.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, only bad guys wore masks on their face, cowboys and Indians. I mean, seriously. It's
And
like,
and and
yeah, it doesn't, like I said, the agenda, there's two things going on here. One side wants one thing and one side wants another. And hasn't it always been this way?
I
So,
heard from a cop that he said it's really funny because he says on patrol now, when they ask what did the person look like, people are saying, well, they had a mask on, you know.
right.
Yeah, I mean, come on, this is just
Yes. It's not safe.
it's
It's really not.
crazy, folks. It's
Yeah.
what have we done here, Trina? I mean, um, imagine in less than 30 days they altered our complete physical reality.
Uh-huh. To see if we'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I have friends in the restaurant industry. They're folks, um, let me just give you the straight skinny on this. If you were those who liked, and Lynn and I, we always enjoyed going to a restaurant, having that moment together, you know, and just the
Yeah.
convo,
Not having
that's
to
gone.
cook and not having to clean to
Yeah,
actually just spend time and enjoy a meal.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's gone. Folks, we have entered into the gulag
Mhm.
because here's the thing, you won't be able to go into any fine restaurant. They're going out of business because the law says no more than 10 patrons
Yeah.
unless you have this distance. And now your per square footage operating cost is gone off the charts.
There's
You
no
can't make a
profit. Yeah.
profit.
It's
Yeah.
done. Done. Yeah, it's done.
So
It's done.
look at the chain reaction here. You can't go to a restaurant because the restaurant can't afford it anymore. And so they close. That further puts a kink in the distribution system because restaurants were a major outlet of food
Yep.
distribution.
Big time.
Big time.
Big time.
What's it like in Phoenix? I mean, I'm seeing reports all over the United States. We see them here, stretching for miles.
See, I
People
don't know
picking
why
up food.
we haven't been hit that bad yet. So
Okay.
I don't know why, but it's you know, we've never stopped the a lot of the construction was still continuing, you know, all the medical services were continuing. You know, they stopped a lot of almost everything, but a lot of the essentials were still running. And even when they opened stuff back up, like we're still not fully opened up yet.
What's your
But we
unemployment
could
rate
always
there?
go to the store, we could always go to the Home Depot, we could always go to Walmart, you know, we could go to all those places. And they haven't initiated the crazy stuff yet, but it's all coming right now. It's like they're doing it right now.
You don't have to have a mask going
Yeah, you
outside.
do now. It literally Costco mandatory made it
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah. I
So
mean, but your
it's all
state.
rolling out right now. So I don't know how well people are gonna like this at all.
Now,
So
is your state mandating it?
yeah. Well, you know, I don't know if the state is mandating it. I think it's more of a corporate policy
No,
because
no. This is,
this went through all Costco's.
yeah, yeah. It's everywhere, but
Costco rules now. So, and I'm sure the Home Depot too. They're all following their corporate employee guidelines.
yeah, but that's been mandated by the states.
Okay, has it? Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Here in Colorado, you can actually be fined and jailed if you're not wearing a mask.
Yeah, I don't think it's law yet here, but it probably will be soon.
I almost will assure you probably will be.
Yeah,
But
because you
your
see
state,
a
I
lot
think,
of
is a
people going
Republican.
into the stores and they don't have a mask on. I mean, many are because we just do it for to make other people feel safe, you know?
Oh,
But a lot of people don't. So and they're not I'm not seeing anybody having issues yet, but it might change very soon. But you know, we've had all the changes made. We got plexiglass between all of the
yeah.
cashiers. All that stuff is in place, so that's all rolling
Now
out.
you think about this. What you've talked about is this is a complete alteration of a culture.
Yeah, but like I said, you know, it's up to us.
Yeah, it is up to us, but there's a whole thing. You have the social pressure. I mean, I
Totally.
heard the story this morning up in Minnesota, I think it was.
Hmm.
Um, a security guard, it was at a Dollar General store, I believe, told a customer coming in that she and her child had to have a mask. So the woman turned around, left, came back with her husband and her teenage son, and they shot the guy.
Whoa.
We're hearing some crazy stuff.
Major pushback.
It's going to get very interesting. And I heard today from the Salvation Army, they're having problem buying food.
They are. Everybody's going to have problems buying food. This is like I don't think there's any way out of that because the weather, it's hit us so bad for the past 24 months, the past 2 years. And it's not just the United States. I mean, this is worldwide. So they've been getting hit with hail and, you know, tornadoes and storms and rain and just crazy weather, locusts. I mean, the locust is eating so much of the food. So yeah,
See,
we're
and I
having
see it from a different, I don't see the weather being that impactful. I know it is, but I see this more as a political agenda
oh, I
that
do
is
too. I
taking
see,
place.
but it's like it's all wrapping together. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's like
it's,
it's
you know,
all, I mean, it's coming from every angle. It's not just one, it's multiple angles.
the meat, the slaughterhouses and the meat processing plants are closing. They're trying to keep them open.
Yeah.
But the strange thing is that we're getting reports that, they're slaughtering literally millions of chickens, and
Yes.
chicken is in very short supply.
Yes.
Meat is going to become it's going to become a real challenge. I
Yes.
don't know if everyone's going to go vegetarian, Trina, are they?
They may have to.
They may
I mean,
have to.
unless they literally know how to go and they can, you know, pull a license and get pulled for a tag and know how to actually take down an animal and process it, clean it, cut it.
Oddly enough, people are doing that. They're
I
messing
was gonna
up.
say, yeah, I mean, I got almost every male in my family knows how to do this. They've
Oh,
been
yeah, I
hunting for
used to
30
be
years,
a hunter.
40, 50 years. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, like, in we live in a subdivision, but our the CCRs here allow us to have 6 chickens, no roosters, chickens,
Oh, yeah.
but you can't find any chickens. You can't find any chicks.
Really?
Oh, Trina, they have been um, virtually no chicks for the last 6 weeks. There has been a mass run on chicks because with most municipalities, you can have chickens.
That's smart. People need them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but now that people are hip to it, you
Yeah.
can't find them.
Yeah, but people will be smart and they'll realize that their eggs are more valuable fertilized to sell for incubation and purposes for that. So yeah, people will start getting creative, and that's what we have to do. And
Yeah,
it's like any kind of like community like stuff that you can do. It's like get together and do it like a neighborhood um, product page of who's got eggs, who's got this, I'm doing that. We could start, making a huge dent if we got some organization on those levels put
very
together.
excellent point, Trina. So spot on because
Yeah.
oddly enough, there is people, I'm sure it's in other places too in Denver. We started figuring out, well, since they can't get the distribution, so we're calling up the farms directly.
Correct. And that might be what's going to have to be done.
The one that we spoke to were for eggs, said,
Yeah.
"Oh, yeah, yeah."
Yeah. And the thing is, too, is like, this is the problem, like in the chain of supply. Like our egg crates came, I think, from China. So we got the eggs, but we don't have any packaging for them. So there's no packaging, so they can't distribute them because they don't have the cartons. These are the kinds of things that people aren't realizing. Well, why can't they send them? They're there because they got no boxes. They've got nothing to take them to transport in, because if you don't have egg crates, the eggs break. So
By the
it's,
way,
yeah,
I see Regina made a comment. You know, when we started, I did the program, I guess, a couple of months ago on the Victory Garden. That
yeah,
is spreading around. I'm seeing it in other channels
yes,
now, and
yes. I've been
yeah,
pushing it too for a while because,
yeah.
when times get, weird like this, it's like, you got to think, it's like in past times, how have people gotten through it? Pay attention to the history and look at what worked and work with that, because that's all you got. Go with what you know as you go, but start with what you know was proven ineffective, and that was proven ineffective.
Well, I'll say one thing for my dad. He was, a cruel man, but he was also a pretty smart guy. We had a garden, a half-acre garden, and it fed 6 kids and 2 adults.
Yep. My
Yeah.
grandfather too, he was always about that. He always had his pigs, he always had his cows, and he taught my dad how to
We raised rabbits.
process them up, and it's
Yeah.
so funny, from learning that from my grandfather, my dad actually became a butcher.
See, my uncle was a
And
butcher. That's very
yeah, and
interesting.
my uncle
Yeah.
too, they both were.
Yeah.
And then my dad went to Vietnam, and then my uncle stayed here and was continued to be a butcher. When they came back, that's when they started all of their businesses in the wrecking yards. But yeah, they
Yeah.
started as butchers.
Well, I mean, we had chickens, and the thing about it is we also had 2 guineas because they are the best watchdogs. I know
Yes,
they're a fowl, but that's the first time where I ever saw where we actually cut the head off the chicken and the chicken was running around in the yard with its head cut off.
absolutely. I
I
hated that.
mean, I can
Oh,
remember as a kid going, "How is that?" You
yeah,
know?
I
Yeah,
didn't
but
I didn't have no problem understanding that, because I saw snakes, and snakes, they'll bite you a whole day after they're dead. Their head will still bite you.
oh, we had them
So
out. Yeah.
yeah, so I always knew that things, certain animals, after they die, they're not dead for a while. The autonomic nervous is still doing its thing. And I was like, oh yeah. So when those chickens were running around with their heads cut off and blood squirting out everywhere, I was just like, wow, they do it too.
Well, yeah, and now I had a problem. I could never butcher the rabbits because
I couldn't either. My dad could do it all: quails, doves, chickens,
the rabbits
cows,
were
whatever.
different though. I mean, that's something I learned at a very early age was that they felt pain before they died, because many of you who know anything about harvesting rabbits, domestic rabbits, that they literally scream.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, literally. And it was
I
just like,
used to have to feed them to my
yeah,
friend's 14-foot python. And it
why
was
would anyone
trauma.
have a 14-foot python? I mean,
Why, I don't know either. But anyways, he asked me to take care of it while he went out of town. So I was like, oh geez. So yeah, I had to do
14
this. And that was horrible, very traumatizing. And they need live food. I mean, this is not an
hmm,
option for a snake that large.
how?
So
I
yeah,
don't get it.
they're like little babies. I don't like it at all. It was traumatizing. I was like, oh my
Hmm.
God, no, no.
I see. This is why this is why the planet Earth is so different. Our species, us, we are just we're unique, I think. Maybe
Yeah,
there's other species.
because think about it, we're connected to that nature. And nature, look at it, man. Nature has lions and snakes and tigers and bears
It
and
has
other
everything
things
out
that eat
there.
meat. And yeah, and we're connected to all that. So can we be balanced in that construct and still connect to the higher parts of creation that are you?
Well, I'll tell you what gets in the way. We're talking about seeds. I brought in some of the ones that we planted. And I put together this because do you know, Trina, something about the human mind that everything we have is because of a seed of thought? Each of us came from a seed.
Yes.
It's just a fact,
Yes.
which brings out this. So, do you know that you're planting at least 70,000 thought seeds a day?
That's crazy.
70,000. And do
That's
you
so
know that,
many.
get this, your brain is made up of 66.66667% of fat.
Yes. And we are made of carbon-based molecules, which are 666.
Isn't that odd?
But I'm telling you that it's everybody's like the beast. It's like I'm pretty sure we're already in the beast system. So, like I
Now, get
said,
this,
interesting.
the conscious mind controls our brain only 5% of the day. Now, this is remarkable.
Yes,
Whereas the subconscious mind has a hold on our thoughts 95% of the time. And this is the point I want to make. We are walking around literally in a semi state of consciousness. There is an aspect of what we consider the one that's looking in. That subconscious mind is active virtually all the time.
that is exactly what I learned when I was going to school for psychology and social work. When I started actually watching therapy, therapeutic processes and participating in them and learning them and getting educated in them, that's when I realized that this isn't going to be effective because 90% of the trauma is coming from the subconscious plane and they're not having any access to that. So they're just rerunning the trauma within the conscious brain. It clicked. It's like, was it Einstein that said you can't solve a problem from the same mind that created it?
Something like that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't remember who said that, but when I heard that quote, it was just like, oh, that's exactly it, because the subconscious is truly what's running everything. And that's why I say we're running programs and doing things of self-defeating behavior based upon trauma that we've experienced that we have no conscious memory of, and it's active in the subconscious mind, and it's the driving force of your reality based upon information received. So clearing that subconscious field, that's why meditation, going into guided meditations, deep trance work, these things will unlock things for you that nothing else can, because you're actually going into the main hard drive of your operating system and you're reprogramming.
Most people, in the vast majority, have trouble with that.
Yeah.
Look at this. So, if you're not eating the right type of the fatty protein you need, that's fish, green leaf vegetables, olive oil, avocados, chia seeds, flax seeds, nuts. To
Eggs,
replenish
eggs,
eggs,
eggs.
another one,
Yes.
the replenish the neurons and brain cells. Now, here's what's interesting. If you lack that in your diet, you are going to have a far better chance of developing Parkinson's,
Yep.
Alzheimer's.
Yep.
You will most likely be on an antidepressant, antipsychotic, because the loss of fatty acids, the EPA and the DHA are linked to depression, Parkinson's, and Alzheimer's.
Absolutely. I studied that too, looking at the effects of brains with those kinds of diseases, and they literally looked like they were dehydrated and shriveled up, and it was from the lack of the fats.
They literally are dehydrated.
They
Literally.
are. It literally, that's what it looked like. I was like, it literally shrinks your brain and it dehydrates it. And it's like, without that fluid, the synapses can't travel through the brain. And if that brain part stops firing, it kind of like degenerates. It was the most profound thing. I was like, oh, get those fats in your body because your brain is fat. And think about it. What was the wave of the 90s for older generations? They were like fat-free diets, fat-free diets. And then they all got Alzheimer's.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about that, it also literally what it does, it short circuits the electrical pathway in your brain.
Precisely. It's like the fluid, the water, the fats are how the electricity travels through from membrane to membrane. So if
Yep,
that fluid dries up, it can't get through anymore. And it's like stopped, it's blocked, and it eventually stops firing because it has no pathways to
that's
move.
why fluoride is so bad. So
Correct.
some positive things, if you meditate, you will
Yes.
boost your brain power, folks. You'll
Yeah.
increase your IQ.
Yep.
Also, studies have proven that those who listen to music strengthens the brain and literally changes the physical structure.
See, Wayne, that's why you're so smart.
Well, we were rocking out to a little bit of Firefall before we started, and it was good. Finally, thoughts are real. Your thoughts cause biological and physiological is your body,
Yep.
effects. Your body responds to the mental input as if it were physically real.
Yep. Yeah. That's why songs will take you back to a specific memory.
Oh,
So powerful.
so I wrote, I put this together. I says, when you put an apple seed in the ground, you expect an apple tree to grow. That's just common sense. In fact, you not only expect it, you know it.
Yep.
This is because nature follows a divine law without questioning it. What is sowed is received. As we grow up, we seem to forget that our thoughts are just like the seeds in nature and that our thoughts are things in creation. The laws that conduct nature are identical to the laws that govern thought. Every thought is like a seed that manifests in our reality, every single one.
Yeah. So
Uh,
powerful.
you know, I what I was trying to get to through this is that I think so often that most of the people and here's really interesting. Are you planting poison ivy or are you planting ivy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you will plant based upon how you feel, not
Yes,
what
your
you think.
emotions.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
emotional guidance, that's the subconscious pretty much. I mean, if you're following your guts, you're kind of that's your door to your subconscious emotional field because I don't think there's any other conscious awareness that we have too much about that part of us other than through the feeling centers of the heart and stomach.
You said something that's interesting. How many of us never listen to our gut? That moment of intuition,
Yeah.
we just so often we question ourselves and then you kick yourselves in the butt because you go, well, I knew that. Why did I do that? I knew that. I knew a girl back in the day who always seemed to choose the wrong type of guys. And she'd get, always get hurt and, would come back into the group and I remember her saying, it seems like I always choose the bad ones.
Mhm. Yep. Because there's something that has not been learned about her own self-worth. So she's bringing that lesson in so she can master it.
I hope she did. I'm
Right.
going
And many
decades
of us
back.
never do because we never understand what was the lesson. What are we trying to learn? We're just stuck in our loop of our pattern and our program. And it's like you can't see what you're in because you're in it, you know? It like I said, and that's why meditation and all these things are the keys to your freedom because they truly do take you to a different place of your mind where you can get a different opinion, a different perspective. And that doesn't typically happen in our conscious mind, which is just running patterns.
So think about this, Trina. I wonder how many people, their gardens are not the type that you can feed off. Their gardens are basically, and this is why I put this up, are planting stinging and poisonous thoughts every day. So
Yes,
most people have a garden full of stinging plants that poison ivy, sumac, and they wonder why it's so toxic in
yes.
their life.
Yeah, and on that, I would say, okay, measure your thoughts. See where you are throughout the day. Document every 5 minutes the processes of your emotions. How did you feel? What were you going through? I know it's tedious and it's crazy, but when you really can start to gauge your own thought processes and see your own emotional waves and where you're at emotionally throughout the day, that will show you your reality
Vividly,
vividly.
vividly. I
Yes,
mean,
well, so that can show you how to fix things if you want to correct them. You know, I have to change the way I'm feeling and thinking to create, to create a new reality because my reality is based upon my emotional charge.
yeah, yeah. And
Mhm.
the emotions, it's interesting. It seems like in this realm, you get the package, when you come in through into the world, and the part of the package is, oh, guess what? You have all these emotions.
Yeah.
Like,
Ooh,
what the hell do I do with these?
right. It's like the world of the five senses, man. Don't let them get you messed up because they're going to get you really good.
Oh man,
Yeah, and like our saving grace is when we can connect to the sixth sense.
yeah,
This
yeah.
is when you find some relief within the craziness of the world as you start to anchor back into the spiritual part of you and you're not being fully controlled anymore by the five senses of the matrix. You're connecting back to your original senses, which is sixth and above.
You know, I often I've said this. It's on back in the archives, but maybe one day we will start schools of enlightenment that will start at the pre kindergarten level.
Oh, Wayne, let's
And
do it. I'll do it with you. Let's do it. I'm ready.
yeah, I think
I
we
would
may be
love to
ready
do
for that.
this. I've seen this is what's gonna happen, and it's so funny. I've had several people, they're like, "I see you with children, lots of children, and they're all playing in this field, and you're dancing and skipping and laughing," and she's like, "But it's weird." She goes, "You're at school." Yeah, I've been told that this is going to happen, that we're gonna have a completely new kind of education for children. It will be nature-based, it'll be science-based, it'll be based upon what they're interested in, and
Because
they
we
will
could teach
teach you.
this. Yeah.
Yes, it will, and I'm seeing this is the way it has to go because what's going on right now is we're actually getting not we're devolving instead of evolving educationally and intellectually. So this is,
And this is what I see the modern education system. And like this one here, it teaches immediately fear.
yes,
You have a feeling of lack. Then you have stress. And
yes.
all of these are the wrong seeds, but unfortunately, they're the ones that take root and grow because
Yeah,
they're
and they're
water.
using bells and Pavlov's, the laws of Pavlov. They're
Yeah.
literally, yeah, and the concrete buildings and the gates and the security and the guards. It is it is literally when we were growing up, Wayne, it wasn't like this. I mean, it's really gotten crazy now. Like these kids now going to school, it's like a prison center almost. So they're being indoctrinated to go into like prison centers. It's completely different. The bells, the security, the guards, the rules, the stress. all of it. And you can only have 10 absences. So but yeah, everybody's been sick. It's like, there's a lot going on with that. And I think it's crashing right now. I really do.
Well, if we can reverse it, because this one was so interesting, what we don't realize, once these things take root, where you have the poor image of yourself, you have easily swayed by thoughts or opinion, and you develop, as Lynn often says, she was a professional worrier, and she actually manifested what she was worrying about. And the problem
Yes.
is that once it takes root, you are addicted to it, and that's why there's more fear and there's more worry.
Yes. It's like you set up a neural pathway in the brain, an operating system based upon an emotional charged thought action. And you repeat it over and over, it becomes a pattern. The pattern gets deeper and deeper and deeper until you can figure out how to break it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And breaking it is that. So what we think about in reality, actually, it's amazingly, we are habitually cultivating our garden with fear.
Correct.
Think about this. I mean,
So true.
that's a whole ecosystem.
True. Gosh, you nailed it.
I
Yes, a
mean,
whole
it's,
ecosystem.
yeah.
Exactly. You nailed it. Yeah, exactly what it is.
Uh, I just went on in what I was trying to do, and if you want this, I'll be more than happy to send this out to you. It's just it basically kind of begins to show you, and we're seeing it today because people are feeling strange, they're feeling victimized. Many of people feel that their lives are out of control. They no longer have, they can't go out and do the things they used to do,
Yeah.
and all this is doing is enhancing those very poisonous gardens.
Yeah.
It's
And right
amazing.
now, I mean, think about it. It's like such a battle for the mind because um, there is a new light coming in, and it can't be stopped, Wayne. It
Mm,
can't be
mm.
stopped. And this is why they're trying so desperately to get everybody deeply embedded into fear because that is the only way that they can function.
This love for Lynn and I, we can't watch television anymore because the damn thing is so negative, so fear-based. It's like the last part I wrote. I said, we allow negative sources from the outside to define our inner world.
Yeah, I literally was instructed in 2006 to never watch it again, and I pretty much haven't. I mean, once in a blue moon I will, but no, I don't watch it.
Yeah.
Uh-uh. Uh-uh. No, they told the programs, the subliminal is harmful. I mean, to extremes. And that's the thing. We have to get into our subconscious mind now and identify what's been installed.
So you know what I do?
Hmm,
When I meditate now, I look at my garden
that's
and
amazing. That's a great tool, Wayne. Wow, beautiful. I love it.
thank you. It
Wow.
came from source, so
Yeah, I was gonna
I'll
say
give
that
credit
is a
for that. It was
brilliant
that guy.
idea. Yeah,
But
that's completely amazing. I mean, what a concept. That's brilliant. Love it.
because you know what I found at first in my garden?
What?
There was grass growing in my garden, and grass is a weed. It's an invasive. And
Yes.
so now
Yes.
when I close my eyes, what I see on this side, it's just a beautiful, beautiful row of corn. I mean, it's just gorgeous. Now let me take you, Trina, and as you get into the middle part, it's where I put my squash plants and they're just flowering. That's what I do now.
That is beautiful. It's
Yeah.
so funny that brand new corn, beautiful brand new corn. You know what that is?
What's that?
5D genetic DNA codes. Go get them, buddy.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll invite you over. We'll
Heck yeah, because I can train. Let's do this.
I love, if you can find the sweet corn, and it comes in here in, I think, early June or so. Um, I can eat that raw. I
You
mean,
need
it
to
is,
get some corn from Brian. They got a
yeah,
special
yeah.
kind in Tennessee, that sweet cotton candy corn or whatever. Oh, he says it is the most amazing
Is he
corn
growing
ever.
that? Brian, I know
Yeah,
you're
and
out there.
he grows it and he's got seeds from growing it. Yeah. Oh, you should get some of that from me. You would love that, Wayne. Woo.
I say let's all go and meet at Brian's house.
Let's do it. He wanted to do that, and then all this stuff happened. We were thinking about, trying to do something, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll just meet over, and Brian will help you on the harvesting, and we'll help you with the eating too. So
Absolutely. Wouldn't
you're
that
the
be
gardener,
wonderful?
so plant your thoughts consciously. That's the point of
Yeah,
getting into it and understanding, because that's what it's all about, Trina.
it is. And most of
Mhm.
us, we've been so we have stuff that's been put in there that we don't have any
Oh,
awareness of. And
yeah.
so that's what I'm saying. Love yourself, be gentle with yourself, explore your own trauma. When something really bothers you, know it's your own fear. It's something that's hidden within you that you need to deal with. I mean, these things they're all around us, and they're truly the operating system that most of us are running, because like you said, the conscious mind is 5% of this game.
Yeah, and it's that other 95% is trying to get the and I think that's what we do here. When we discover that, then it becomes the challenge of, all right, how do I begin to discipline this?
It's funny too, Wayne. Literally, as I was just thinking of that, the conscious mind is 5%, and I saw it's awake, it's conscious, it's lit. And then I just saw that the subconscious is the 95% dark matter.
Mm.
Don't know why
Brian
that.
says oh, so it's an heirloom variety from the Cherokee.
Yes, and it's yeah,
Woo!
yeah. That's why I was like, oh, Brian's got some wonderful magic corn.
I bet that would make some good moonshine too.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
So Brian
Mhm.
is going on D Live. I don't know what D Live is, but I guess it's another platform, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I'm just saying, Brian, that sounds delicious.
Oh, I can't
Yeah.
wait to try it. He's
Yeah.
been bragging on it. I'm like, I want to try some of that corn.
How big of a garden do you got, Brian? James Broom says, I grew up on about 3,500 acre farm. Now
Wow,
that's a
that's
farm.
huge. Wow.
Wow,
I-
that's one that I would bum out as a kid if you said you have to go and weed this garden.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, right.
Where to what? Yeah. What end do I start at? And how many days do I have to be? Yeah. Is this going to take
Yeah,
10 days,
ain't gonna
14?
happen.
Right.
Oh man, but I gotta tell you, we didn't have a lot to eat as a kids when we on a farm. We just didn't. And but I can always remember as we were weeding our garden, um, the black eyed peas. They grow on a long string.
Mhm.
And we, as they were ripening, we would eat those as a kid.
Yeah.
They were like chickpeas, you know?
Yes.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
just
Yeah.
delicious.
Yeah.
Uh, oh, Deb, that's real interesting. I'm reading in the chat room as we're going by here. Dandelions. If you can actually
Yes.
find
Yes.
dandelions that are not contaminated by the sprays and everything, they're extremely healthy.
Extremely.
Yeah. In fact, the whole plant is edible.
The whole thing, and it literally is antiviral, antibacterial, macrobacterial. It is a phenomenal plant, and it's
Yep.
a weed. It's literally a weed.
Yep.
Dandelion is a weed.
Yep. We
Yep,
used to, well, that's what collard greens were. I love collard greens. There,
absolutely.
when I go to New Orleans, when I did, there was at the La Pierre, the hotel right down the street, there was this kitchen.
Mhm.
And those ladies, I'll tell you, I got to talking to them because this is the one woman, she says, for a white boy, she says, you've got a
Mhm.
lot of good taste.
Right?
And I said, well, I
Right.
grew up on a farm, but I love collard greens. I mean, to
That's
me, it's
awesome.
just, oh, it's just,
My strawberries are blooming, and I had,
are they?
big, oh yes, they
Yeah,
are big time. And so I had like two ripe strawberries that were ready to eat, because you can't leave them too long. You got to get them while they're good.
yeah.
So I had a box of strawberries, and I make up this magical concoction. It's cream cheese and marshmallow fluff, 50-50.
Mm,
Oh, it's delicious. And I
mm.
love to eat it with strawberries. So I ate like half of a box from the grocery store, of strawberries with my fluff. I was so enjoying it. And then I was like, oh, I got those 2 strawberries outside. I'm going to go get those. The difference between the two made my mouth water. It literally, when your mouth just bursts, it literally did that when I had the ones that I grew versus the ones that I had purchased. It was amazing. I was like, there is so much potency when you
That
do
sounds
stuff
really
with
good.
your own hands.
I don't drink alcohol, but if I were, and I have, but I'm not saying that, but a strawberry daiquiri
Oh,
on a
yum.
hot July night.
My favorite. And I love amaretto instead of rum.
Oh, really?
Well, because amaretto is sweet, because I'm not
Yeah,
a
it would.
drinker. So I
Yeah,
like a foo-foo drink, So
that
if
would
I have
be,
it, I do amaretto instead of rum. It's my favorite drink. Strawberry daiquiri with amaretto instead of rum. It is so sweet and so delicious, and you can barely taste any alcohol.
See,
Yeah.
that's right up my alley.
I thought you would like that, Wayne,
Yeah,
because you
yeah.
sounded like you like what I'm like.
Lynn and I got married in Hawaii, and where we were staying at in the resort, there was a particular bartender that knew how to make a Mai Tai.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
and Lynn doesn't drink. She is the cheapest date when,
That's me too.
oh, I mean, she can't drink. I mean,
I can't either.
and
Don't do
she
it
had
very
like
well.
2 sips of this Mai Tai, and it was like, it was amazing. But anyway, because she said,
Yes.
I couldn't even taste that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you would like that strawberry daiquiri, Wayne.
Oh, well,
Amaretto.
you see, Brian, we're bringing the party with you.
Absolutely. A good strawberry daiquiri after doing farming work. Oh, that's a beautiful little gift.
Sarah says amaretto sours are good.
Yes, they are.
I could see that.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried strawberry beer? I have not.
I haven't either, but my kids have, and they said it's all right. Yeah, but
Yeah.
they love the apple beer. They said the apple beer is the
That
bomb.
I could see, because
Yeah, they like
yeah,
the apple beer. Woo.
yeah,
Mhm.
apples are very much, I could see that.
Yeah.
In fact, I think the Moonshiner guys actually did one that actually had, uh, they called it apple pie.
Ooh, yummy.
Yeah, man.
Ooh. Mm. Yeah.
Brian, are you going to be on tonight? I think I'm
Yeah, we're gonna
thinking
try, I
you're
think.
going to
Yeah.
try it again. Okay. Well, we're just speaking favor over that.
Thank
You're going to
you.
be able to do it with excellent. Someone says St. Adams cherry wheat is good. That sounds apricot beer.
Oh, yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds good.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Marijuana is always good, B3. I don't care what flavor it is.
The new science on that with the cannabinoidal system that they've
Oh,
just released the information on, that is like the most beautiful thing because we've always wondered why it had such a healing power, and now we understand why.
there are some,
Yeah,
and
it's
I actually am
amazing.
going to do a show on this because I have the book that said that the Christ
Rock
was,
cannabis.
yes,
I
yes,
think he did.
yeah,
I
yeah,
would say that.
yeah, yep.
He says, I am the hands, and he'd show me that, and then I'd literally see a pot leaf in the same thing. I'm
It's
telling you, it
sacred
was
medicine.
reconnecting. It was activating something in the cannabinoidal system or something. It did something, and it gave us the ability to start to reawaken. I literally think it was the delivery of this substance, and something with olive oil too.
Now,
Olive
see,
oil and cannabis.
yeah, because hemp can actually the cannabinoids can have a lot of similar taste to olive oil, and you think
Do
about
they?
this,
I didn't know
yeah,
that, Wayne. Oh,
mm-hmm,
wow.
yeah, yep.
Yeah, he would show me the oil and which like the olive oils, and then he would show me the plant, the hemp and the marijuana. And he was like, gifts. These were the
The
gifts that he
distillation
brought.
process now with marijuana is amazing, and I know we can't
Yeah.
talk about that because it's not legal in every anyway. So,
Right.
but I want to counter with this because you see, shaman have always used cannabis. They've used peyote,
Always. Yeah,
and there are a number of other plants out there that give the same psychotropic effects.
correct.
And I
They're
counter, they
protected
didn't always
under
have beer.
yeah, and they're protected under religious ceremony.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
mhm.
I mean, listen, I would rather go in church wouldn't be my first place, but if it was to be one, that would probably celebrate cannabis more than picking up the snakes. Um,
Yeah, no, I'd rather go to that one too.
I
I'm
actually,
with you on that one. Yeah.
I, my sales territory included Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, and so I would a lot of times just drive up through Appalachia on the back roads. And I did go into a church. It was a Pentecostal church. Holy shit. I mean, this
Yeah.
ain't no bullshit, folks. They actually pick up these poisonous snakes.
Yeah, they do. I went to one of those when I was a kid and it traumatized me so bad because I'd never seen nothing like that, never nothing before. And I went in on one of those big snake handling days.
No,
I really freaked out. I was asking my aunt, "Are you sure this is a safe place for you to go?" She was like, "Don't ask me that again." I was like, "Okay,
it's
yeah,
like, yikes.
whoa,
I mean, I pretty well, I know the verse, the Bible, because I was a practicing Christian back then, I guess, to a degree, and
yeah,
I was, and
absolutely,
I left that place, and and that was part of, I guess, as you look at your life, it's an accumulation of awakenings. Uh, but I said to myself, if human beings can get into that mindset,
yes,
nothing's impossible for us, folks.
correct."
Nothing.
You got it, Wayne. Bingo.
She's
This
saying
is like why I always hear it's like, when are you guys going to realize how powerful you are? When are you going to realize it? They're
indeed.
laughing. They're like, you guys have no idea what you could do if you put your minds to it. I hear this
Brian
all
is saying
the time.
that there's serpent handler preachers everywhere around there.
Oh, yeah. They're all
Oh,
over.
Brian. Woo.
Like I said, I know a lot of people that is just works for them, but like it didn't work for me, which is I was like, God bless you if that works for you. I have no problem with it. Enjoy, but yeah, not for me.
That reminds me of the story of my friend who was a Tennessee highway patrolman. There was one county that they just didn't like going into, and it was Cock County. And it sounds exactly like it's spelled Cocké, Cock.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, because those folks are different back there in those
Wow.
those hollers and those hills. Yeah. Let me just say, cousin Gene got to know cousin Ryan really well. They seem to
Yeah,
have,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I guess they
Lots of
practiced that
things
from
to
the
go
Royals.
wrong in that genetic chain.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think in
yeah,
some cases the gene pool is depleted, but
yeah, yeah.
that is just so funny. We got a great group. I'm looking over
Yeah.
at some of this, and it's just so funny. I mean, come to find out, there's a lot of people that have a little more of a Pentecostal background than I thought.
Well, and it makes sense to me because the Pentecostal to me seems like that would be the highest experience of religion, pretty much. I mean,
It's
it
interesting.
really, I do see that. So I can totally get that. But like I said, I never really went to church. And my aunt, she's a huge churchgoer, and she started going to the Pentecostal, and I didn't know anything about that. So the first time I saw it, it was completely traumatizing, and I never returned because I asked way too many questions she did not like. So
I'll say this, that um, there is a spiritual effect. You actually
it's
are elevated
powerful.
into a different dimension.
I saw people going into a different
Mhm.
dimension and it
Yeah.
freaked me out. Because I didn't know if it was good or bad. And
I've
it was
seen people
scaring me with
float.
the snakes and stuff. So I didn't, I was having a hard time getting past the snake thing, with watching these people go into these joys that I mean, they were in ecstasy.
They were. And
They were in ecstasy.
genuine.
I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, ecstasy. And I was just like, to me, it was like possession. And I was like,
It
"But
is.
it is," and I was like, "But these people are good with it, and it's happy," but I was concerned about possession
See, that's the whole thing about Christianity, though. You are to be infilled with the Holy Spirit.
Yes,
That's
yes,
possession.
correct. Yes.
And I still speak in tongues.
Yes.
It's a gift that came to me, and I don't do it publicly.
And I wonder often, Wayne, is possession of the Holy Spirit truly possession of your oversoul?
It's a good question. It's one that I'd
And,
love to
you
get
would,
more
that
into.
would be a good possession to take. And
I
maybe that's why these people are literally elated in joy, is because they're truly standing in the presence of their own divine being.
and it's as real as you can imagine.
Oh, it is. I saw it
Mm.
firsthand. I was like, holy smack, hold the phone. This is wow. Wow. Yeah.
Oh,
It was mind
well,
blowing to me, but I cherish the experience because it showed me the power of that.
oh,
I mean, I witnessed it firsthand. I was like, there is some power in this. And think about it. It says in the end of days, it will bring Pentecost.
yeah,
Everybody will be filled with that fire, that Holy Spirit reconnecting to their own divinity.
I think it's a
That would be a
spiritual
gift.
opening. Yeah,
Yes, I think that would be a
yeah.
wonderful gift.
I can interpret what I actually speak in tongues, so it's a different situation,
And
but
that's when they say it's truly divine, is because when you have comprehension of it, if you can
yeah.
understand the words that are coming out of your mouth with an
Mhm.
understanding of it, they say that that's Holy Spirit.
Yeah, and that's why I keep my mouth shut. Oh, well, Miss Trina,
Oh,
that hour's come and gone.
it goes so fast. I just
Oh,
love it. And I love you guys. And I hope we can stay together forever as a family and just get bigger.
I love this. One guy says I'm filled with soft vanilla feeling.
I love it. I
I'll
love it.
take the Bavarian custard. That to me would be, a Boston cream pie. Oh
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Well,
Bring
Miss
me the,
Trina, take us out, please. Uh,
oh, what a topic. What a time. Yes, create well, because this is what we do. We're doing it all the time, but we're doing it by default. Time to get in the driver's seat and turn the clunker into a Ferrari and get top speed.
whew.
Yep,
I'm revving up. All right,
that's it.
tonight go over to Milky Way Messenger's channel. Miss Trina will be on there with Brian. I think it's 10 p.m. Eastern, right?
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
so figure out your time zone for there. Thank you, all you beautiful people. I love this family, and
The best.
we'll see you all tomorrow. All right, much
Yep.
love to y'all. All right, bye bye.